We are taking a look at some of the political battles down at the county levels, as well as the issues residents are grappling with. A very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Akisa Wandera. We begin our program from Nyeri County, where the death of Governor Nderitu Gachagua has dealt a huge blow to the coffee sector in the country. Gachagua led a spirited fight to liberate the coffee sector from both local and international cartels. Our reporter Murimi Mwangi toured the central region of the country to answer the coffee question. Take a look.
As the body of the late Nyeri Governor Nderitu Gachagua was slowly lowered to the final resting place, a cloud of uncertainty hung over hundreds of Nyeri farmers. To them, the curtain had prematurely fallen on the life of the man who single-handedly attempted to kick away local and international cartels from their source of livelihood, coffee.
Hii nafasi ya uongozi ambayo tumepatiwa tusiwe tutaipuuza au tuitumie kwa njia ambayo hatutaweza kusaidia wananchi wetu. Wakenya waliamua ya kwamba wataka serikali za ungatuzi.
Having been educated on coffee proceeds, Gachagua had in 2013 campaigned on the platform of agriculture reforms, a pledge he actualized in 2014 through a model he called the pull marketing strategy. Under this model, all Nyeri coffee would be fully processed and packaged before being exported through the Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters, a move which would bypass the Nairobi Coffee Exchange and eliminate middlemen to fetch better prices for the farmer, a figure which Gachagua put at a minimum of 103 shillings per kilo of cherry. But the project flopped after cartels blocked Gachagua's search for market locally and abroad, a frustration that almost cost Gachagua his job.
He courageously tried to make the returns from coffee at least be handsome to the ordinary man, and that is what should be pursued by every leader.
Middlemen indeed are fleecing the coffee farmers, and therefore we will have to come up with a way of how we can be able to eliminate the middlemen, the brokers, so to speak, and therefore make sure that the final product, at the end of the day, the farmer benefits from his produce.
But the story of the typical coffee farmer arguably remains that of a pathetic, hard-working Kenyan struggling to survive. At Mathioya in Murang'a County, Joseph Kamande, a former chairman at Karurumo Coffee Factory, is a worried man. And the same story of worries is shared by John Kahehia, another coffee farmer from Teto in Nyeri County, who wants the political leadership to push for cheaper farm inputs.
Na tungependelea yule atakuja atusaidie kutupatia madawa ya kahawa na pia na ile pesa tunahitaji kilo isipugue shilingi 80 kutoka juu kwenda juu, na hapo tutakuwa tumesaidika.
Wale wakiwa frustrated wanawacha hiyo kahawa kulima. Iko kitu kingine ni hiyo tu. Ukiwa frustrated, huna fertilizer, huna nini, unawachana naye.
So it's the high time that we start with the market of coffee from the farmer who makes the coffee to be the morning beverage to take in the morning section. We must start with the farmer. The farmer becomes the first marketer of coffee.
The frustrations in the coffee sector have precipitated the shift to alternative farming, majorly dairy farming and horticulture.
Now, as the frustrations facing coffee farmers continue to pile up here, the farmers have had to seek alternatives, such as this farmer here, who has had to cut his coffee bushes and in its place planted food crops.
Wakati huu kahawa iko chini kabisa. Juu tukiangalia wakati huu kwanza hapa kwetu tukilima kahawa tupeleke kwa factory kanaimbiwa. Ni mwaka huu tu kahawa hajaibiwa.
What government worldwide, good governments actually do, is to create a conducive environment and let farmers run their own affairs, but give them the support they require.
Muranga woman representative Sabina Chege argues that key decision makers on coffee should study and learn carefully the marketing model adopted by Othaya Farmers Cooperative Society. The society has been independently marketing its coffee, a move that has seen its farmers make over 100 shillings per kilo of cherry. This even as coffee farmers from other parts of the country earn as little as 30 shillings for every kilo of their produce.
Immediately the farmer releases the coffee to go to the market. They should be, like what happens to the tea, they should have a monthly pay. You know, not to wait after 1 year you're told your coffee, this went to the milling, these are the losses. At the end of the day, you give your coffee and then you are given zero. I think there should be an amount that every coffee farmer should earn per month, and then by the end of the year, they earn a bonus.
The solution to the public problems is good leadership. And good leadership is not available everywhere. It is very rare. It is very rare to get a good leader.
And I think one of the things that I would want to do myself if I'm given the position of governor in Murang'a County is to refurbish and revamp all the coffee factories that we have.
The death of Gachagua, it would appear, is a heavy blow to the coffee farmers across the Mount Kenya region, and leaders here are under intense pressure to liberate the farmers from local and international wheeler dealers. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News at Mathioya, Murang'a County.
All right, let's now head over to Trans Nzoia County, where the battle for the governor's seat is getting hotter by the day as Jubilee hopefuls line up to unseat the incumbent, Patrick Haemba. This even gets more interesting as NASA and Jubilee nominations draw closer. The candidates down on the ground are also daring Cabinet Secretary for Water, Eugene Wamalwa, who's rumored to be interested in the local politics, to bring it on. Makna Maswa with more on that.
Mimi niko Ford Kenya na sibanduki, siendi popote. Trans Nzoia Governor Patrick Haemba, forced by current political circumstances to declare his party affiliation in the face of heightened Jubilee Party campaigns in his backyard.
Trans Nzoia needs a governor who is exposed enough, who is hardworking, who has the people at heart. You know, in principle, we need a worker as a governor. We don't need a mheshimiwa, you know.
Haemba's team is lately engrossed in projects like the multi-million shilling bus park in Kitale's Central Business District, as well as Trans Nzoia Referral Hospital that has attracted controversy, his opponents not leaving anything to chance.
They are calling it the Referral Hospital, which they keep singing that they have initiated for the last 5 years, and it has costed 960 million. Out of the 2.5 billion development budget that they get, where does the other 1 point something million go?
You see, the Auditor General's report raises so many issues, but some of the issues just because documents were not given to the auditor who came to look at your records. Either the record keeping was poor.
I don't see the chances of Haemba ever becoming a governor. He'll rather pack before even if I were the one, I would just surrender as a I would quit and say Trans Nzoia nimewakozea.
Agriculture remains a crucial socio-economic aspect in the life of residents of Trans Nzoia, though maize production has been doing badly for some years now. Aspiring leaders are keen to position themselves as the ever-needed solution to the maize farming challenges.
The soils were over-acidic because of overuse of DAP fertilizer, which incidentally is supplied by the national government and subsidized. And then also a problem of monocropping for too long. The soils were very acidic. To bring down acidity, you need to lime the soils.
With the small-scale farmers, especially widows, an example, with a small piece of land, if they came together and agreed that they grow sunflower, and you create some livelihood mechanism whereby there's some simple machines, when you supply to these women group, They can use them at least with the sunflower. They come up even with cooking oil.
Trans Nzoia County is not only a frontier county, but gubernatorial aspirants are alive to the fact that this area is a melting pot of sorts for all ethnic communities in the country. And known to many outsiders, a form of negotiated democracy dubbed the Mabanga Accord is partly responsible for the current occupants of governor, women representative, and senator's office.
Trans Nzoia has completely been, split into very small units based on tribal lines. If you look at the county composition right now in terms of employment, also in terms of business distribution, resource distribution, is purely on tribal basis. So these are some of the things that we would like to revise, so that taking that opportunity, show people that, look, as Bissau, I can hold together the 42 tribes of this county called Trans Nzoia, which in my view is like a small Kenya.
While people are shouting on the streets, I'm engaging the minority communities, and we are discussing getting the understanding on what is their stake, what do they think should be their stake in the next government. We want to include everybody, including the Asians. They are investors in this county, and they are citizens in this county. They have the rights. They need to be included in the next government. We are consulting with the minority like the Sengwer, the indigenous people. We are consulting with the Tesos, who are considered to be minority. We are considering all communities, even the big communities.
Trans Nzoia politics was previously associated with the late Masinde Muliro, then Michael Wamalwa Kijana. And in 2013, Patrick Hayamba of Ford Kenya won the gubernatorial race with 89,000 votes against Noah Wekesa of ODM, who managed 37,000. Kakai Bisa of New Ford Kenya, 33,000, Joel Gesuka of TNA with 29,000, and Godfrey Siundu of Wiper with 3,000. At the moment, CS Eugene Wamalwa's interest in active politics is still not clear.
As a Jubilee team, we welcome Eugene when he has an opportunity to come and help us campaign. Then that will even help, oil the whole campaign machinery.
Eugene coming in the race is no threat at all. For me, it makes now the game sweeter.
Each one of us has a name, and I told you there are so many Wamalwas around here. So if that Wamalwa, the so-called Wamalwa comes, he'll be just one of the many Wamalwas around here. That's how I see it.
Currently, Ford Kenya of the Code NASA outfit appears ahead of the pack. Its leaders from neighboring Bungoma County frequenting here to rally their Luhya, Sabaut and Teso cousins to a single political bloc. Mark Namaswa, KTN News.
All right, let's now take a short break here, but don't go too far. Coming back.
Uongozi sio chakula ya kusema wewe kula wakati hii na wewe mwingine kula wakati hii.
Together we are going to cross miles and ensure we emancipate our people from yoke of poverty, from yoke of underdevelopment.
It's a democratic process where candidates have the right to pick party tickets and run against one another.
We'll be going straight to the northeastern region, where some leaders are not very happy with the negotiated democracy concept, but they have their ways of dealing with it. Don't go too far.